Oh yeah, what is this?
Everyone always said, you know, if Honda built a truck, that'd be the first one to buy. And that's a lot of the reason that Honda implemented such a big H on the front of the Ridgeline. Because when people see that H, there's things that are just standard that they think about. And that's reliability, performance, dependability, and most of all, just peace of mind. And Honda knows that peace of mind is a huge thing in anyone's daily life. You know, this is a truck that you can get in and drive every day, worry-free. There's nothing better than being worry-free every day. When you step up to the truck and open the hood, the first thing I want you to notice is the layout underneath the hood. You know, a lot of manufacturers just they figure out what they have to put under the hood, they take it all and they just throw it under. What Honda does is they actually have engineers that map out the placement of everything under the hood. And they also, what you'll notice is everything's color-coded. So you don't have to know a lot about underneath the hood. You can look at the orange manual, it'll show you, the blue is the windshield wiper. The gray is the power steering fluid. The oil, the dipstick is orange. So it shows you those things, so you don't have to worry about this and that. The next thing I want to tell you about is the engine underneath the Ridgeline. So it's a 3.5 liter V6 with 250 horsepower with V10. And the V10 is a variable valve timing electronic lift control. And that's really Honda's pinnacle when it comes to building the most powerful but still fuel-efficient engines in the world. And it can be explained just like the lungs when you're walking and running. If me and you were to stand right here and we were going to walk 10 steps, our lungs would just use enough air to get us there, and they wouldn't have to open up too much. And that's what the engine's going to do on the highway. It's just going to use enough to give you that maximum fuel efficiency. But if we were to take off sprinting the next 20 yards, our lungs are going to have to expand to give us more air and more power. And that's what the engine does. It expands, let more air into the engine, and gives you more power. So it gives you the best of both worlds. The power when you need it, and the fuel efficiency when you need it. And you should expect nothing less from Honda, the world's largest engine manufacturers, all the way from weed eaters to jet engines. The next thing I want to tell you about, I know that you said that y'all go to the lake a lot, y'all go up to Lake Washita in Arkansas twice a year. Next thing I'll tell you about is Honda's four-wheel drive system. It's called VTM4, which is variable torque management. And what that can do is that actually can transfer up to 70% of the horsepower to the rear wheels without any driver intervention, so you have to do nothing. So when you're pulling your boat out of the lake this summer, what it's going to do is it will transfer that horsepower to the rear wheels to get you out. Once you get onto the interstate, it actually reverts back to two-wheel drive to give you the maximum fuel efficiency. So there again gives you the best of both worlds. The next thing I'll show you, which is standard on every single truck and not on any other truck, is the heavy-duty radiator with dual fans. And that's a great thing because when you're on the way back from Lake Washita this summer, you've got the boat loaded down, you've got the kids in, all your camping gear in the rear end of the truck. There's going to be a lot of weight, and in that 98-degree weather, this is what's going to keep the truck from overheating. So that goes back and ties into the worry-free and the peace of mind. You don't have to worry about those other things. Honda takes care of that for you. As we shut the hood, we'll make our way to the back of the vehicle. One thing that's all new and standard on every single Ridgeline is TPMS, and that's the tire pressure monitoring system. So if any of your tires gets loses more than 15% of the air, it'll actually pop up on your information screen and tell you that you need to put air in your tires. So there again, I'm talking a lot about that worry-free and peace of mind, but it's just things to think about that you don't have to worry about, the truck does for you. And that's going to give you better gas mileage, handling, and even performance. So that's just some of the small things. As we make our way to the back of the vehicle, if you'll kneel down with me, the first thing I want to show you, unlike traditional trucks that have a live axle, the Ridgeline was the first ever truck to have a four-wheel independent suspension. And the benefit of that for you is that gives each wheel a lower unsprung weight, therefore providing you with a better ride, stability, and also handling. In most trucks with the live axle, if you run over a bump in front of the rear, you're going to feel every single thing. But with the Ridgeline having the full independent suspension, anything you hit is only taken at that wheel, so it'll give you a better ride, and I know your wife will appreciate that. As we stand up, the next thing I want to show you, which is very unique, and it's the first ever that Honda built, and it's a dual-action tailgate with an embed trunk. The first thing I want to show you is this tailgate can actually be folded down like a traditional truck, or even opened like a door, allowing easy access to the bed. without having to lean over. I know you've been at Home Depot and you've had to lean over, you're trying to get to this and you can't reach it. The benefit is this swings open and you can get to anything in the bed. What it also does is it stops at a 180-degree angle. And that's you can even use it in parallel parking without it swinging out and hitting other cars. So that'll be another good thing. If you look here, this is very unique and this will probably amaze you. This is the first ever lockable embed trunk. If you open it, you'll see that there's 8.5 cubic feet of space that you can use for anything. You can put golf bags, you can put your kids' baseball bags, camping gear, anything you wanted to. It's also watertight, you'll see. So you could even put clothes in here on the way up to Lake Washita and the rain will protect them. Another good thing we use this for, which y'all could use a lot going to the lake, we fill this thing up with ice a lot. We can put drinks, you can put your food, you can put anything in there. I know you're thinking, well man, what at the end of the day when all that ice melts? Well, Honda thought about that. And that's why they put this innovative drain plug right here in the front left-hand corner. So all you have to do is twist that drain plug, release it, and all that water drains out. It saves you the time, you don't have to do anything. As we shut this, the next thing I want you to notice is this is a small thing, but I know it'll be a big thing to you. The placement of the lights. If you open this, you'll see how these lights are placed right here. And I know it doesn't seem like a big deal now because it's daytime, but at 8 o'clock at night when you're unloading groceries or anything out of here, those lights are going to come in very handy. And that'll be very convenient for you or your wife if she's getting anything out of here. And it's a small thing, but it just shows you Honda, the engineers are always thinking about you and your family when they do these things. They could easily cut corners and not put these lights here, but it's just to help you out in the daily use of life. That's nice, isn't it? As we shut this, we'll make our way around to this side of the vehicle. You know, I always get the question, Luke, you know, I hear this truck can tow 5,000 pounds. I hear it has a payload capacity of 1,550 pounds. But what does that all really mean? And I want to show you what that means. The gross combined vehicle weight rating of this vehicle is 10,085 pounds. And what that is that's the gross combined vehicle weight rating. And what that means for you is that's every bit of weight in the truck. That's the weight of the truck, the weight of what you're towing, and everything you put in it. The weight of the truck is 4,500 pounds. So the truck weighs 4,500 pounds, and the payload capacity is 1,550 pounds, which is the highest payload capacity in its class. The Tacoma comes in at 1,250, and the Dodge Dakota comes in at 1,100. So it beats even the closest competitors by 300 and 400 pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you talk about what you can put in the truck and what you're towing, 400 pounds can turn out to be a lot of weight. What you do is you take the 4,500 and the 1,550, you follow me with all this? This is the weight and that's your payload. You take those two together, you're going to come up with 6,050 pounds. You take that 6,050 pounds and you subtract it from the 10,085, that gives you 4,035 pounds. Take the 4,035 pounds. I know you're saying, well, man, when I have my boat and my jet skis together, that weighs 4,300 pounds. Well, this is where the payload capacity comes into spot, and that's 1,550. You take that 1,550 right here, and you take your family of four. Just say y'all average 150 pounds. 150 times 4 is going to be 600 pounds. So that takes up 600 right there. Say that y'all are on the way to the lake and y'all fill up the rear end with with ice, beer, drinks, cokes, food, whatever you want to. Just say 100 pounds, which that's a lot, but we'll just use that number. You take that 600, also add 100 here, that gives you 700. You take the 700 of weight that y'all have used inside the vehicle and subtract it from the 1,550, and that still leaves you with 800 pounds. So you can use that 800 pounds and add it back to the 4,085 pounds, which actually gives you 4,885 pounds of towing. So you can use that weight, you can use all of it, you just have to use it evenly. You can't use the 1,550 here and the 5,000 there. You have to disperse it evenly. And that's just a big question all my customers ask me, they want to know that. If you ever have any questions, you can call me, man, because I'm a pro. I'll answer any questions. As we step right here, open the rear end. This is another thing that Honda, we'll tie it all together. Honda always uses every bit of room they can. A lot of trucks, this would just be full, and there wouldn't be no space under here. When you open the Ridgeline, you'll see that you have space underneath the seat, and these seats also fold up. So if it's just you and one of the boys, y'all are going out, going to play golf, you can put all your stuff here. But you'll also notice if everyone's in the vehicle, these seats are down, you can put the golf bags underneath here. You can put baseball bags underneath here. You can do anything you want. And that's one reason Honda designed this truck. They wanted to be different from any truck in its class. You'll notice with the embed trunk, the space underneath the seats, there's so many things that this truck does that no other truck can do. And that's why its first year out, it was awarded the 2006 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, which was an amazing feat for its first year. I know you're getting excited about all this, and I want to be able to get this truck home for you and your family. Let's go inside and get it wrapped up, man.